Going to education, the path to an education is marked with a number of challenges for most students, especially those who are undocumented. As 9 News 5's Rogelio Mares reports, some educators are getting training on how to be a resource for students without legal status.
Being undocumented is something that impacts every part of a person's life.
From how some people view you in society to what resources are available to you or not to pursue your education. That's according to Dr. Carolina Silva with Scholarships AZ, a nonprofit advocate group for undocumented students.
Students shouldn't be the one to bring up the fact that they need access to resources. It should be coming from the educator.
Dr. Ruben Cesena took part in a Scholarships AZ workshop recently where educators learned how they can work with undocumented students to be a better educational resource. A report by the President's Alliance on Higher Education and Immigration places about 450,000 undocumented students enrolled at universities across the country.
I've been there and I know what it is.
Both Dr. Silva and Dr. Cesena were once undocumented students themselves.
I remember the coming out as undocumented is not a cute experience.
Asking that very simple question, is this resource or service or scholarship open to undocumented students? And if not, how can we change that?
That lesson, just one for educators, geared toward being an advocate for their students, regardless of their immigration status.
The educators should be already familiar with the particular needs of undocumented students.
Enabling their education through inclusion, their status as an undocumented student.
Think of how their lives and their stories are empowering for the learning classroom and the learning community.
A valuable tool, Dr. Cesena says, for educators who want to do more for all of their students.
Me attending the trainings with Scholarships AZ has really helped to illustrate the importance of making sure that as an educator, students build a sense of trust in you.
Undocumented students have just the same right as any other student to have a K-12 education.
Dr. Silva cites a Supreme Court ruling back in 1982, Blyler v. Doe, which states no public school can deny a grade school education to any child because of their immigration status. Dr. Cesena says part of the challenge is identifying yourself to educators who want to help.
And yet, in order to demand resources, sometimes you do have to come out as undocumented.
A positive cycle, Dr. Silva suggests, because the acquisition of an education could bring more people into the fold.
And some of our folks go back into the education system, which is awesome, right? Like, I mean, Ruben, myself, we're both previously undocumented.
Rogelio Mares, KGUN 9, on your side.